So I was watching Ian Hubert video today. You should really subscribe to his Patreon, and he was making a spaceship, and he's trying to paint on individual rivets. And I thought to myself, what I often think, that textures are illusion and geometry is truth. So I made a little GeoNodes setup to put rivets on things. So here's some little rivets. It's just an instance from this guy. This is a little rivet, and it puts rivets on stuff. I don't know what to tell you, man. It auto places the rivets. You can put them wherever you want. You can take this thing and make it thicker or thinner, and the rivets just update. They just update, man. I know, it's not complicated. So that's how it works. It just adds rivets to stuff, and it's a pretty straightforward geometry stack. First, it copies in the geometry from the base object. So this is still that same base object. So you can edit your base mesh in the modified object. Then it does a simple subdivision. That's just to get these inset edges from the edges here. Otherwise, here, let me just roll back the mod stack. There we go. So it creates all these edge loops around all the edges, basically. That's all that does. So if you want them closer to the edge, you can increase this number. And then, actually I should do it over here on the one that's not all masked off. There we go. So you can increase this number, and now they get closer to the edge. So that's all that does. Then it does the rivet edges geometry node, and that's a little bit of magic, but not too much. So basically it takes the edge angle, gets it bigger than a threshold, blurs it, and you can adjust the blur values, adjust it greater than a threshold again, knots out the original sharp edges, adds them together, and then knots out that and deletes all the points that have those edges. So what that means is that you can have your base mesh, and now you can adjust the threshold for sharpness. So I can adjust the threshold here. Maybe I don't want it selecting all these sharp edges. I just want the, maybe there. Well, now it's greater than 90 degrees. It's probably not what you want. Anyway, so you can adjust it, but you can adjust it so that only the really sharp edges get rivets. And then when you turn this back on, now it's only around those really sharp corners. It's not around any of the other stuff. Or you can adjust it way down. You can also change the number of blur points and the blur weight value so that it only goes one edge in instead of two edges in. I think 2 works pretty well. And then I'll just adjust the threshold here. And you can always just put rivets on everything, but it's kind of overwhelming. The nice thing about this method is that you have total control of your base mesh, so you can add other modifiers in the stack and change your things. Anyway, so that's the rivet edges tool. And so then it that's the only magic in there. It's just the geometry nodes. So then there's another simple subdivision that gets us a ton of points along those edges. And then there's a connected weld, and that allows you to set the spacing. So if you increase this number, it spaces them out more because it's just welding all those vertices together. And so you can adjust the density of that. So you can put this way low, 0.1 or something. Yeah. And so now you've got tons and tons of rivets. And then and then after that is the instance on points, and that's just the standard instance on points modifier. So if you really wanted to, you could add in between the instance and the weld a random displacement or a random jitter modifier or something like that. You could shrink wrap it to another surface. You could do all kinds of stuff. You could get multiple of these instances and set up multiple sets of these, and then have one with like a rust mask and one with a rivet And then you can bake it into the texture. So then if you don't want all the geometry, you can just bake it into the texture, and then you've got the textures instead of the geometry. I don't know why you'd want to do that. I mean, having the geometry is awesome. I haven't figured out exactly how to get them to line up to rotate properly with the base mesh, because the base mesh has all the normals stripped out with all the delete modifiers. But maybe there's a way to do that. You can probably bake the normal into the vertex before you mask it. Anyway, it's just a demonstration of you can do this. And there will be a link in the description with this file. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it and make cool Rivet stuff. Remember, textures are illusion, geometry is truth.